Got a Sony DCRTRV230 Digital 8 Handycam with analog playback in for service, and this one has sound but no picture. Let's check it out and see if this is an easy one or a tough one. Okay, I got another camcorder in, another video that nobody will watch. This one's a DCRTRV230 NTSC version, and this is a a digital 8 camera. I don't know if this one's got does this have analog playback on it or not? Some of these had analog playback, others did not. I'm assuming that this one probably does because it was used by a company that archives tapes. So I think this one probably has analog playback. There is one that does not. Let's just see what this shows on the memory. Does it or not? Does it or does it not have playback, analog playback? Playback mode, yeah, this one will have analog playback. Auto, yeah, high 8 auto. Okay, so this one features analog playback. I think it was the 250 that did not. I got given one, a 250 that doesn't play back. So I gutted it and used it to fix a 240 that I had been given that the mechanism was screwed on. So I swapped the mechanism from one to the other to make a good unit out of a bad one. And that's what we might be doing on this one. We might be swapping parts to make a good machine out of a bad one. So what do we got on this one? Let's see what the problem is first of all. This is one of these ugly bottom feeders. I don't know if you guys remember, but I actually modified mine so that I can remove this cover and clean the head without having to disassemble the unit. Let's just pop a tape into this one and just see what it does. I've got two machines similar to this. I got a 230 and a 330. So let's just see whether this one works. And this is the 230. I also have a 330 from the same people. Okay, I got no video. I got sound, but I have no video. I think this might just be dirty heads, you know. This one may just be clogged heads on this one. So let's just let's open this one up and give it the thumbnail treatment. It probably has the bad connections that go bad on them all as well. But let's just pull it apart and just see what is the problem with this one. But it might be dirty heads. But I had no video. But I know that on a lot of these units, if there's like one of the heads clogs or the signal level drops, you can sometimes still get the sound without a picture. So let's just see whether I'm right, whether it's just dirty heads. And see, if this was my machine, I could just remove this cover without having to take the camera apart, because I trimmed the cover back on mine to make it easy to access. A weird thing happened on YouTube yesterday when I uploaded a video, so I had to redo it. Well, I didn't have to redo it, I just had to re-upload it, but I uploaded the video of the Toshiba with the memory problem, and I wasn't paying attention when I actually premiered the video, and I was actively involved in a live chat. but I got a phone call. And I took the phone call, and when I came back from the phone call, everything was done, like the video was over. And what I didn't notice is that for some reason half the video was missing. I was made aware of it when somebody mentioned. They said, "Oh, you didn't check this. It could be the." See, this is what I broke off on mine. I cut this piece off that holds this in place so that this can come out, so that the head drum is accessible to clean it. We'll try. I'm just going to try that first before I even take this apart anymore. So I went back and I checked, because the guy was telling me, he said, "Well, you didn't check the sub power supply. It could be the problem on the sub power supply." And I had checked the sub power supply. I changed a couple parts on it. What the hell is he talking about? I went back and looked at the video today. The damn thing cut off after about 11 minutes, and the video is actually like closer to half an hour long. So I had to upload it again. I don't know what happened to it, but somehow in the YouTube processing, just half my video got lost in cyberspace. So I apologize for that, for any of you guys that are wondering why a duplicate video went up. Trust me, it's not a duplicate video. It's just the full video didn't go up the first time. So I don't know what happened there, whether my internet went down when it was uploading or whether YouTube just messed up when they were processing. Anyway, I'm going to try cleaning the heads on this thing. We'll use the good old thumbnail on the head drum right here. Hit play and just frame it over so you can see what's going on. Blue screen right now, and I'll zoom the camera back just so you can see what happens when we do this. Is the picture going to come back? Oh! Hello? Clogged head. You saw it. Just the thumbnail on the edge of the head here. This camera's working. I don't even need to tear it apart anymore. Check everything out, fast forward and rewind, and I'll put a digital 8 tape on here as well. So let me go grab a digital 8 tape. So this one's fixed. This is a nice easy fix. Let me grab a digital 8 tape and we'll try that out. I have to turn it down. This is a dance recital that I shot, one of my productions from years ago, that was mastered onto digital 8 for Dance Horizons. I think it was like 2000, so this is like 23 years ago. So in other words, all these young women are old now. But it's working. So that anyway, this one appears to be working. Just clogged heads. It's playing a digital 8 tape, as you can see, and it's playing an analog tape. So I'm going to remove the little foam cleaning wheel because it's deteriorated on this really bad, as you'll see. What happens is the little foam wheel here, these all pretty much have to be taken out because they break down and they get sticky. And once that happens, they start to actually, well, they end up going like the rubber on here. As you can see, if I roll this around in my hand, it's going to crumble into pieces. But it's also very dirty, as you can see. And that will put more contamination on the head than it will remove. So these all have to go. And you can't get them anymore, but they're not needed. And they're going to create more problems than they are going to solve. Just because you can even see, if you look on the edge of the drum here, you can see where it rubs. It's left a contaminated mark on the drum, you see? You can see it, where it's left a residue behind on the drum. And now I've left the fingerprint on the drum. I was going to take the whole machine apart, but I don't know whether it's necessary. Maybe we will. Maybe we will do the the edge connectors on here just because it's such a common problem. And even though it hasn't gone bad on this one, now that you got it half apart, I might as well just pull the side off of it and we'll just do them while I'm at it, so you guys, even though I've showed it before, just so you can see what needs to be done on these type of cameras, because it's quite a common problem. The next one's got a mechanical problem. I can tell you that much right now. It's going to have a mechanical problem with it. But we'll just pull this last couple screws out here, because I've already got it almost apart anyway, and then I can just lift the side off. And I think that one's got to come out too. I think that's it. Oh, one more down here. But as far as if you're digitizing tapes, this is one of the cameras you want, right? Forget any of those other ones. Forget the F50, the TR5 or TR81 or any of those. Forget all those cameras. If you're looking for one to digitize tapes, what you want is you want one of these late generation. Digital 8, of course, gives you the ability to play digital 8 tapes as well as high 8 and regular 8 tapes. So that's always a bonus. But you want one of these late generation machines, just because they don't have a lot of electrolytic caps that are going to give you headaches like the other ones. They still have a few. I mean, there's a couple down here, as you can see, but they're much newer, so much less likely to give you headaches. These are the connectors I'm talking about that give us the most trouble. So we just need to basically take them out, carefully undo them, and then seat them back in again. And the problem with this design, the way it was, is because these are on top, anytime any water or any moisture or anything got on top of the camera, if something got splashed on it, it always went down into these connectors and caused problems. So if you have any weird problems, like errors coming up on the display, like C31, 32, etc., this is usually what causes it, is these connectors. They all have to be just undone and reseated. This one's actually been taped in place because this was a known trouble one that caused nothing but headaches in the field. So we just undo them all and reseat them all again, and that should solve any problems going forward that's going to be caused by these. Just unplug and replug. And there's one more over here which is a little harder to get to, but we will get it. So those connectors have all been reseated. Put the camera back together now and be done with this one. Now, if you want to do what I did to make the camera like this much easier to get into, basically what I did is I chopped this off. I'll show you the cover for mine so you can see what I did to it. So this one's my 240, and as you can see, I can just pop this one apart anytime I want. I don't even bother leaving a screw here. I can just pop this off so I can access the head drum to clean it. And this is what I did. If we look at the two, you see the difference between the two? I just cut this off, these screw tabs in the bracket. That way I can just put it on top of the camera, so it keeps it clean and keeps fingers and stuff out of it, keeps dirt out of it. So when I'm using it, I just usually leave it like that, and then if I have a head get contaminated from a bad tape that I'm transferring, I can just pop the top off and access it. So if you're using a machine like this as an archive machine, it's probably not a bad idea to do that. And then you can clean the heads using the good old fingernail trick. So say I've got, this is one of mine, I've got two of them. This is also what I did with that rubber grip that goes bad, right? I cut it off and just the strap, so I can still pick the camera up, I can still hold the camera like that and use it and so forth, but it just gets this material that goes bad out of the way. That's the only thing I like about this design of camera, was the ease of cleaning that head drum when you modify that top cover. That was a great, even without it, you only have to pull the front cover off to remove it, right? But still, not having to remove a bunch of screws and remove this front cover is a blessing in disguise. But the bottom loader, they call it the bottom feeder, design, I think, was probably one of the dumbest designs that they had, because if you're using this as a camcorder, which is what it was designed to be used as, and you had it on a tripod and you wanted to change a tape, you see the high 8 tapes only ran 60 minutes. A 2-hour high 8 tape in digital 8 mode only ran 60 minutes, and then you had to change the tape. And the problem with this design is, well, you got to take it off the tripod and remove it from the tripod adapter in order to open up the bottom. They kind of stole this design from Canon. Canon had done this in their small camcorders, and I hated it then. And I also thought that Sony really dropped the ball when they designed this camcorder like this. And say the only thing good about this design was, for those of us using these as an archive deck, it made cleaning the heads relatively painless once we modified it with that notching out the top cover, which I'm not doing on this one because it's not my machine. But that was the only good thing. The only good thing about this design was the fact that it was relatively easy to clean the head without having to dismantle the entire camera. If you saw the one I did yesterday, to get at the head, you actually have to take the whole camera apart because it's in the bottom. But the advantage to that design, of course, is that well, you can change the tape without having to take it off your tripod. My opinion of Digital 8 is it was probably one of the better ideas that Sony had when they designed it, because it allowed people to migrate to digital, get all the quality of digital while maintaining backwards compatibility with existing tape libraries. That was the machines that had the analog playback capability, such as this one. And Sony did the same thing with their Betacam when they migrated to, like, I think it was the SX, if I'm not mistaken. The SX professional Betacam could play analog Betacam and Betacam SP tapes, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I read that somewhere, was that the digital beta decks, DigiBeta and Beta SX, etc., had the ability, maybe not the cameras, but the studio decks had the ability to play back the analog tapes, so that TV stations that were adopting the SX format could play back tapes that were recorded on older equipment, which was an excellent idea on Sony's part to maintain backwards compatibility. And the quality that the Digital 8 was capable of delivering was every bit as good as mini DV, because the tape format is recorded in exactly the same format as mini DV was. Quantization was the same, color space was the same, 411 for the NTSC, and I believe it was 420 for the PAL versions. Anyway, there we go. This one is back together. I'm just going to give it one last final check before I sign off on this one, just to make sure that everything is working now that it's back together. Well, it should not work now that it's back together, right? No, it will. It will work. So this would have been recorded on my EBW300 and a CCD VX3. Both of them were high 8 3-chip cameras. It was edited, I'm going to say, on a Matrox RT2000, because that would have been what I was using back in the day. This was recorded in 1999. Now, one of the cameras may have been a VX1000. In fact, it might have been a VX1000 and the EBW300. Thinking back now, I think I was using a VX1000 and the EVW300. I also had a Canon GL2, but I don't think I was using it on this. I'm trying to think now. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure one of these was the EVW300. I can tell by the smoothness of the zoom that it was probably the EVW300 because it had a true variable speed zoom as opposed to the consumer cameras, which had kind of steps. Like when you went to zoom, it would go in different steps of speed, whereas the professional zoom lens was a complete servo. So I think this was the EVW300 that this was shot on. Anyway, it would have been edited on a Matrox RT2000, I think, and then the output from that was sent into a digital 8 recorder, which would have been a DCRTRV230. Probably the 110 because it's at SP speed. And if I was using the GVD 800, it would have been LP. So I could have fit the entire show on one tape because this was split over 2 tapes. Anyway, that's what Digital 8 looked like. It was good. And to make the master, which was then used to make the DVD or VHS tapes or whatever, was all done on digital or digital tape. Anyway, this machine, as you can see, is working. I've let it play for a few minutes just to verify that everything's good. It's not making any strange noises. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.